Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous. And here's her story. Hi, Ollie. Thank you for being patient with me while I figured out how I wanted to word my story. You can never be too careful with these people. I've got a new narc in my life. Unfortunately, she's my coworker. The situation is that this summer job, the situation is that this is a summer job while I finish up college. It's part-time and seasonal, but I love it. I plan on doing bigger and better things once I graduated, but I really don't want to leave this job just to get away from her. The very first day we worked together, my narc threw a fit that I was stealing her hours. She made a big deal about how she now has to find another job because I transferred to her store and didn't think there was enough room for both of us. Seasonal help. Okay, look. And it sounds like it's retail seasonal help. Let me explain to you. All right, let me read through this because I have a lot of knowledge working for Macy's for so long. We were the kings of bringing in seasonal help and how that all worked. Our boss insists work is going to pick up and that there's nothing to worry about even if we had a slow couple days. She started phrasing things to make it seem like she's my supervisor, making it sound like she's been there for years when it's only been a couple more months than me. Treating me as if I'm her quote-unquote temp. We are the same though. She's not my boss and I do all the work she doesn't want to do. Actually, I don't see her do very much at all, just the bare minimum. So I'm left dealing with this manipulative backstabber for a couple more months. I even heard her whining to another employee about me, or I nip it in the bud and get away from this toxic environment. I lost a job due to a narc's revenge before, and I'm terrified that she might try to lie to the managers to get me fired. She's already lied to me about how to do my job properly, trying to sabotage. Good thing I double-checked her on her bullshit. So what would you do? I don't need this job to survive at the moment, but it gives me something. So I feel useful, and I know my family is happier seeing me work than be lazy and take the summer off. I'm also too old to be asking mommy and daddy for handouts. Plus, my mother is a narcissist to boot. There might be other odd jobs. There might be other jobs, but in my area, it's mostly soul-crushing cashier positions, and I really need to finish up my degree for a serious career path to open up. I feel like quitting means she's won. Sorry about that. I feel like quitting means she's won. I don't want to reward her temper tantrums. Even after the boss said everything's fine, don't worry, she still keeps bringing up the hours in a semi-subtle but not too subtle ways. I feel like I have two options: stay and be the subject to the manipulation, or quit and be defeated. What are your thoughts? Thank you so much. Anonymous. Okay, Anonymous is somebody who's worked retail and has dealt with seasonal versus permanent help. Okay? Here's the first thing you need to realize. Retail jobs are shit. Okay? They're real good at telling young kids, college kids, oh yeah, this is a legitimate career path. It's hell. Just like you described it, cashier hell, it's retail hell. This is how retail is. It is riddled with narcissism. It is riddled with people who are angry at their lot in life. And this is as high as they're ever going to reach for this girl. Okay? So you have two options. You could either take the money, because it's seasonal anyway. Okay? You got to realize what she is. This is all she has. So she wants to be the queen of her little pond here, but her pond is pathetic. Let the narcissist be the queen of her pathetic little pond. Whether you want to quit or not is completely up to you. Whether you want to, it's worth it to you, it's afforded. Whether if you can afford to quit, it's up to you. If you really, really, really like the job, then you got to make a decision. But by you quitting, she's won nothing. She's won nothing. What? She's won her shitty little retail job? What, does she work in a counter somewhere? I'm not trying to belittle, because I worked retail for so long, but I know what's going on here. This is a girl who is just empty inside. She sees you going to college with a future, and she hates you for it. So the only little bit of power she has is fucking with you on your part-time seasonal job. Why? Because she sees you as a threat, as somebody who could take her shitty job that you don't want long-term anyway. But because she's a sociopath, and because she's a narcissist, and because she has no confidence, this is all she has. And she can't see through that. So she's got to try to hurt you in any way she can. And this is the petty way that retail operates. It's nasty. It's brutal. Okay? It's the worst of female on female interaction. Okay, when you bring in seasonal help and slow periods, I don't know if you're working it sounds like you might actually even be working in a commission department if you're worrying about it being slow. So I'm going to make an assumption here that you're working some kind of commission job. And if you're working a commission job, that's just the cherry on top of retail narcissism, because they're all just fucking sharks. They'll eat their own mothers, okay, to make a sale. They'll get you fired. They'll set you up. Let me tell you something. As director of security, somebody who's worked in retail security and loss prevention as long as I have, do you know who we used to get the best tips from? Commission employees. Why? Because they were looking out for their own. Do you know what we'd end up always having to do with those tips? Turn it around on the tipster, because we knew if a commission person is snitching on someone else, it's because they're in on their own scam. And we never, ever, ever had a commission person. We would take their information and they would be right, but they'd always leave out what they were doing as well, and they'd end up getting themselves fired eventually. I mean, that's the nation. That is the natural progression and the nature of commissioned retail positions. They're just fucking brutal. She's won nothing by you quitting. Okay? What has she won? Yay. I'm going to college and graduate school, and you're staying in your shitty little retail position. And she's won? No. Now, if you want to work, and there's other things you can do, okay? But if it's not worth it to you to find another job, okay, and they want to fire you anyway, look, retail is brutal. You can get fired depending on the manager, and if the manager doesn't like it, if the manager's a woman who doesn't like it, and you don't know, it's why I had to get out. It's why I had to get out. I couldn't take it. It was this type of shit, and this was the type of shit I would deal with on a daily basis. Managers fighting with their employees, commission employees fighting with other and it was always women. It was always women, or a gay guy, or a drama queen type gay guy stirring the whole fucking pot. That was it. So understand, if you do leave, the narcissist has won nothing but the shitty pond you were already competing in. Let her have it. So, I hope that helps, Anonymous. Thank you so much for your contribution and your story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it successful, growing, and succeeding, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from you guys. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.